Hello, everybody, and welcome to TrustBIX's channel. Just want to let you guys know what we're going to be doing here. We're going to be running through company updates, industry updates, answering any questions you guys got for us. If you have any at any time, don't be afraid to kick them over. And of course, introducing members of the team. So who better to kick us off for video numero uno than CEO and President Hubert Lau. Hugh, how are you doing over there?
Fantastic, Michael. I just really glad to be on your show.
Good. Glad to have you here. And so I feel like the best way to actually kick this off would be to paint a picture of yourself a little bit, let people see the inner workings of Hugh. Tell us a bit about your past and your real motivations as an entrepreneur.
Sure. Born and raised in Canada, Chinese descent, and had nothing to do with agriculture for the longest time. Tech guy by training, start with mainframes and then kind of moved over from there. Really, the highlights of my career is that I had the pleasure of helping to build one of the largest financial trading floors in Canada, the Nesbitt Brent trading floor. Worked with one of the top commodities traders in the world at the time in Bermuda, managing trading floors in Canada, US, and London. So this is the time before your voice over IP technologies, your VPNs and all that. So we built everything ourselves. So we got love to solve tough problems. And so and we even had devices that we had invented with different partners in Asia that we had used for security devices with Europol in Afghanistan. Ooh. So the idea of what we are is, of myself, if you will, is taking technology, looking at what are really difficult situations and how do you create a win-win-win out of it. And I've been told that at one point, between a couple of friends and I, we were the largest exporter of malting barley from Canada to China, and we bypass like all the big players like Cargill and so forth. So, it's all about solutions and what you can do with it. And so my whole background is that way.
Interesting. It is always interesting when someone's in technology, because essentially what it often means is you're sitting at these cutting edge ideas, trying to push things, trying to find solutions to problems, so to speak, applying a lot of critical thinking and conceptualization. So that definitely helps when you're then become a CEO of a company. So tell me that story then. How did you wind up as the CEO of TrustBIX? Tell us what made this
my business partner, Ted Power, came to me one day and said, look, I've got some friends who have a agricultural traceability company in cows, and they're kind of in trouble. Do you want to work with me on it and rebuild it from scratch? It was called Few Track Technologies, which we still have today. And my original answer is no. What do we know about cows besides eating them? Medium rare is good. They got two ends, the pointy end and stinky end, and that's it. Wow. So, it's hard to get into a business that you don't understand. But when we got talking with them, we found out that some really interesting personalities were part of this the venture holding group that was not being treated well. And that included some of the dragons from Dragon's Den. So, and one of them was Brett Wilson, which is quite the celebrity in Alberta, in Canada here. And we got meeting with these guys and just wonderful individuals, and they just needed help. So we thought, 6-month gig, get in there, do some great stuff, show our ability to these well-to-do individuals and move on. My problem is I fell in love with the industry. I came in 6 months later, I'm like, man, the people here are amazing. The agricultural industry has a lot of opportunities. We're going to need to eat always, so there's always ability to grow, and the market, the estimated market value is ginormous because all of us have to eat. It'll never go away. It's industry resilient, market resilient, and so just decide to stay in it. And then we acquired another company called BIXCO from the Canadian Cattlemen Association. And eventually we decided to roll it all together and take it public in April of 2019. Of course, we didn't know there was going to be something called COVID coming in, because if we did, we would have held back a little bit. But, life is interesting. Yeah. And my partner is now our vice chair of the company. And we just, put our head down and get to work. And it's been just a blast.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting the way the different paths life can take down, different things you fall in love with, like you said, coming from a technology background and winding up in agriculture. And you're 100% right. That's an industry that's always going to be growing for as long as we need people. And I prefer eating food. I don't know about you. I can tell you're definitely not from Ohio, because when you mentioned things about cows, you didn't say tipping any of them over. So
no, I'm still trying to do that. Like I haven't had a chance for that yet. Yeah. Yeah.
So assuming you're not out there trying to tip over the cows, tell me about some of the things you actually handle now on the day-to-day.
Well, I think one that the the contracts that most people recognize us in the Canadian beef industry is our working relationship with a company like Cargill, and their customers. So their customers like McDonald's, Cactus Club, Loblaws, and so forth. And through the whole collaboration with the industry, like with the Canadian cattle industry, with these retailers, is that our technology is the driver behind the world's first certified sustainable beef supply chain. And so when the rest of the world saying don't eat beef because it's bad, it's great to know that we have made a difference in not only being able to produce a product that is fantastic for the planet, but also we had worked with our partners to have retailers pay a financial incentive or a premium to the producers for supplying the sustainable beef. We do all the tracking of that and the distribution of the funds on behalf of the retailers in Cargill. So not only did we create a supply chain that is certified beef, but we also ensure that retailers are rewarding the farmers for that extra work that they do.
Yeah, that's interesting. I like that strategy over a lot of people. Like you said, people say, "Oh, we just shouldn't be eating beef." Prohibition has never really worked for human beings, any way, shape, or form, in any regard. Essentially, so but using innovation and finding ways around the problems is definitely money to be made, and actually push things in a positive way there as well. So yeah, kind of glad to hear it. So yeah, obviously you weren't happy about COVID. None of us were, but now. I wish I was saying it was coming to an end, but how do you think 2022 is going to treat you guys? Like, how has it treated you so far?
Well, you know what? We've got the one technology platform called BIX, the Business Info Exchange System. And that is what allows us to integrate data from the whole supply chain and then report it not only for things like sustainability, but if you think about ESG reporting to shareholders or to consumers, we can pull that type of information. And on the other side is we can look for ways to help producers be more profitable, be more efficient, and so forth. So from that perspective, with COVID, even though at first it was a rough ride, but then people cared more about what they're eating. Things are being more expensive, so it matters, right? So our technology platform is actually giving us an opportunity to grow, and through that growth, we already have a huge client base all across North America, including some of the largest pork processors in China also use our technology. So we have a roadmap not only in Canada, in US, Mexico, but also in China. Oh. And so with that network and now the need for food, like even more so than before, and also the authenticity and the chain of custody behind it, now we're in a position where we are going to continue to grow organically with our partners, with our reputation, with our technology, but also through acquisition. So we just announced that on a press release that we have signed an LOI with a non-disclosed company that we'll be acquiring them. And our part of our strategy is to grow through acquisition. This will be the first one since we've gone public.
Wonderful. Yeah, Hugh, I'd love to dive deeper into this, but we'll save a lot of that for the next video. But I think for now, you did a great job of wrapping yourself up, letting people know a bit more about yourself. We gave a little taste to the intro to the business, which again, guys, will be next call. But if you guys have any questions about any of it, again, don't be afraid to ask. We'll be here. We'll answer it for you right on for the world to see.
Michael, since if you have 30 seconds, I like to comment on your cow tipping with a Canadian joke. So when I used to live in Bermuda, the joke was, what's the difference between a canoe and a Canadian? And the answer is a canoe tips. So when it comes to Ohio, now I can say what's the difference between me and you is that you tip cows.
Yeah, we tip. Fair enough. All right, Hugh. Well, listen, it was great to have you on. Thank you again, everyone, for watching, and stay tuned for more videos coming soon. Hugh, have a wonderful day.
Thank you all. Take care.